delicious. So today I want to cover a few topics that have taken my interest over the last couple of days. To begin with, I want to start with the Oscars. The Oscars was amusing, whether it be Jimmy Fallon breaking his no politics or less politics promise within 2 minutes, or Emma Watson turning up being as virtuous as possible with a temporary tattoo spelt incorrectly with a grammatical error missing the apostrophe. For someone that wants to preach equality, she sure does love the idea of rubbing it off afterwards, right? And it's lucky that she could this time because she got it wrong. I mean, it's not like she actually got a real tattoo and spelt it wrong like all the people you're now seeing on the screen. Geniuses. Oh, and because I like to mock people who make mistakes, Hayley Williams of Paramore tried to rock that haircut in 2013. It didn't work for her then, much like it doesn't work for you now. Stop trying to copy Lena Dunham. Go to a proper hairdresser. The next piece of Oscars-related stupidity that I noticed was the winner for Best Actress, standing up and talking about diversity, which then led to her 3 fellow nominees all standing up and applauding, and then you noticed she's talking about diversity and all 4 of them are white. You can't make this shit up. The next piece of stupidity I would like to laugh at is this article with Lindy West mentioned. Being fat in the workplace is hard. Standing up is harder. Oh, I know how it's supposed to be interpreted, but obviously the play on words, it works so well. Whoever wrote this, you're a genius. Now, I could read this article, but I believe the part written underneath can help me best understand what the article was trying to say from Lindy West. Writer and body acceptance activist shares how to make work less stressful and more inclusive for people of all sizes. Allow me to help you right now. You make work less stressful by being better at your job. Productivity, though, is key, and it can only be inclusive for people of all sizes if the people that are bigger can fit within the confines of the space that is allotted for someone who operates or works there. You can't make concessions for people who are too fat. If they can't perform their job, then they don't have the job. Rocket science, right? So the next thing I want to go over quickly. Monroe Bergdorf. Now, I've done a video on this lady in the past. She basically just abused white people and then tried to defend it, but she couldn't. And she got hired by the Labour Party to be one of their crappy little equality or diversity advisors. But she quit about 24 hours later, blaming the conservative right-wing press for quoting her words. Now, the bit that made me laugh the most was the fact that Andrew Neil retweeted this. That made me chuckle. Someone that works at the BBC not being biased. Beautiful. I just love that Monroe Bergdorf is posing for a picture here next to Jeremy Corbyn. I bet he's looking at the camera thinking, oh, I wish I was dead inside. Or maybe he was thinking to himself, gosh darn it, I just love me some chicks with dicks. Okay, so moving on from that, I want to move on to Sargon of Akkad. You all know who he is, right? He is to the alt-right, far left, and to the far left, he is alt-right. He recently gave a speech or was having a conversation with someone at an event, and it got shut down by some dickheads.
Why are you doing that?
You know about the accident event that happened a minute ago, where some people tried to silence me.
Back away! Put your hands on people! Back away! Back away! Back away!
Fascism, people, watch it. Learn from it. The fascists are here.
Back away!
It's quite good, actually. Apparently they wanted to knock out the security guards.
I'm so glad I got to see that. I'm so glad I got to see that.
Guys, we're ready. Grab him! Don't let him go!
Were you going to say to me, are you? Big man, you going to say to me?
Fucking ought to.
I want to focus on this tweet by Steve Shives. I get your concern, but Sargon's a professional bigot who's instigated hatred and bullying against women, immigrants, people of colour, Muslims, etc. for years. He's a rape apologist and a racist who amplifies same, and I wouldn't mind seeing him get punched every time he leaves his house. Remember guys, Steve and his perpetual block button probably wouldn't let you see this. But Steve's a bitch and a pussy who wouldn't say this himself. Hell, Steve, if you're listening, come on the Kumite sometime. I would love to talk to you. I would love to talk to you on the Kumite. If Tonka would let me, of course. It's his show after all. And it would be quite amusing to see you actually talk to someone you disagree with, because you seem so keen to just hide behind your wife and your block button. Now allow me, and I know Spinosauruskin tweeted what he thought about the violent aspect of that speech was to him, and even he said it was unacceptable, and I agree. Even with Spineless Foreskin, I agree. Violence is never the answer, and the fact it occurred is unacceptable. And the fact you scrawny little rat man that sits on your wife's gigantic strap-on, need to understand that condoning violence is unacceptable, regardless of views. I could spend hours addressing how Sargon's a professional bigot, or instigated hatred and bullying against women, immigrants, people of colour, Muslims, and all that. Also, how on earth is he a rape apologist? Right, whatever. A racist. Of course he is. Of course, because he says nigger, which means he's a racist. The follow-up tweet, He deserves no better than Spencer. I say, shut him down. Don't let him speak another uninterrupted word in public ever again. Right. So I assume you'll be in Scarborough, holding up one of those many signs calling for him to be shut down, right? Pussy. Go on the Kumite. As far as the people that instigated violence at that event go, my views are this. I hope you were arrested. I hope you were. Because while you have an opinion, your idea of getting your point across included balling up your fist and throwing it at someone, which to me is not acceptable. Tells me you can't allow your own words to stand on their own merit because you're a bully, and I don't like bullies. Now, the final thing I want to cover was a tweet by YouTube, which linked to a video. The tweet reads, when it's hashtag Women's History Month, but the pay gap is still a thing. Is it a thing in your company? Is it a thing within Google? Oh wait, maybe it is actually. Oh yeah, if I remember correctly. You're kind of in the shit right now, aren't you, over that? Now, the video you've linked with the GIF is a really crappy music video, and I think I'm going to address it in my next video, because reasons. I don't like the idea of massive companies like this perpetuating bollocks, so why not devote an entire video to addressing the nonsense it fobs off. I think it's a music video, by the way, so I'm going to try very hard not to clearly cringe while listening to it, but I make no promises. What I liked about this tweet, by the way, was that there was a thread, and further down you could see Miss Factual Feminist Christina Hoff Summers, dear at YouTube, how about sending a tweet that links to my video questioning the gender wage gap? It has nearly 4 million views. Thank you for your consideration, Factual Feminist. That video, by the way, is actually pretty damn good, and I highly recommend anyone who has an opportunity go and listen to it. Now, I've actually reached the end of this video, and I apologise that there's not like one clear subject, but I do want to say one thing before I finish. Magog, you're a fucking eunuch. Have a lovely day, and thank you all for listening.